Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, readers of all persuasions. Welcome back to my channel, Books Uncorked and Caffeinated. I am Gayla. This is the second Sunday of the year, and as promised, I am going to go through my Audible reads from last year. So I read 111 books total, and last video I posted about the physical books that was in my reads. So this week I'm going to talk about the Audible books. I'm going to try to have them up. I don't know which way they're going to fly on the screen, but this is my tech debut of doing things differently outside of just showing you my phone and and holding up what the Audible books were. So if this makes it, that means it was done. If not, you're gonna get an old one from me until next time. But let's get started. So one of the first of the actually was the second of the Audible books. Like I said last week, some of my books I read via Audible, and then because I wanted the books, I actually bought the book. So this is kind of like the second read of the year. But it was called I'll Be Home from Christmas by Sadani Rose. So from my research and recollection, she is a independent author, or just one that is not, mass produced and put into Barnes and Nobles and stores of that nature. So it was a cute little read for Christmas. I think it might have been the first or second read I've read by her. I think I read something by her last year, or this might have been, the 2023 or 2024 might have been like my second read of hers. But it was a great book. I loved it. It gave me all the feels I needed and what I was looking for. And I was trying also to finish up the Christmas reads that I wanted to do from last year. So that was one of them. The next book was called Spiked Hot Chocolate by Risley Adams. Once again, another read. So let's go back a second. The first one I talked about, I'll Be Home from Christmas, was about this couple that was stuck at the airport and couldn't get out. So that was what that was about. And then Hot Spiked Chocolate, just what it is. Do you believe in like cosmic kind of like connections with people? And so that's what that book was a lot about. Then I read another one immediately by her right after it, called Just for Tonight. I think that's self-explanatory. A lot of these books I read and I enjoyed, but it was so long ago. So I'm just going to go through them so you can know all 111 books that I read. So after that was by Aja. I read her series Soul's Mate. So I read She Got Soul, Deep in My Soul, Soul Love, and Soul Ties. And ironically, this book was about sisters and also their mothers talking about their soul ties to their men and telling their stories. And I think the most compelling story was Soul Ties, which was about the mother. And that was the last one. And it kind of brought everything into focus and made sense while the daughters were going through what they were going through with their love lives, and also they got to know their mother's story as well. Then the next book was The Truth About the Accident by Nicole Trope. So I read this one. This one is dear to my heart because I buddy read this one with a student. Some of you may know I'm a therapist. I work in the schools. And so one of my students was having a really, really hard time, but they love to read. And so we gathered some books and we did some buddy reads. So this was a buddy read I did with them. And I enjoyed the book actually, but it's just a special place in my heart because I did it with my students. The next one, I was still on that Christmas train. On a Night Like This, the Winter Night series. This was the third book, and I was just trying to finish it up after the 2023 reads. Then I was introduced to, I was already introduced to Kennedy Ryan, but then I started reading her backlog. And then I read Real, the Hollywood Renaissance #1 book. Now, I'm not sure if there's follow-ups to that or she's creating follow-ups to that, but I did read Real. Everyone enjoyed it. I did as well. So there you have it. The next one was The Christmas Wish. I guess I was still in my Christmas bag. I was in my Christmas bag most of all of January, and I still am now which you will see later on in the year or later on in the month when I show you the books that I've read. But it was called The Christmas Wish, again by Sidani Rose. Once again, talking about the Christmas season and the feeling of that season and all of those things. The next one, Alexandra House. So she was slowly becoming, or she has slowly become one of my Audible authors. I read most of her stuff from Audible, whether I buy it or it's uploaded free or I get it from the library. I'm all about Alexandra House. So I read the Love After series, books 1, 2, and 3. High Love, Made to Love, and Real Love. After that, I read Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. So this was my first book by her. And pretty much I got it from Shaughnessy. I'm not going to lie. She talked about this book so much. I think she said she reads this at least once a year. And so I read it and I actually enjoyed it. I was surprised that I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. I was surprised I enjoyed it. It was a straight romance movie, but it had some hardships in it. I wasn't prepared for what happened in the end because I wasn't looking for that. It's a little tragic. I know it says Love in Other Words, but it was a little tragic, but I actually enjoyed the story. After that, I read Cookie Dough by Bella J. This was the second book in the Jacob Brothers series. Next, I read A Love Song by Ricky Wilde by, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. This was a book I didn't quite enjoy. And I think what I'm learning about myself is that I don't like pieces or writings that go back and forth in time. That's why I won't read the 7-Year Slip. And there was another book that I read that I didn't like as much either because of the time going back and forth. So it was a good read, as everyone said, but it wasn't like my cup of tea. I wouldn't even, if I had to rate it, wouldn't rate it because she's a great author. I read other things by her, but I just didn't like this particular book. Then I read Flow, Grip, the 0.5 in the series by Kennedy Ryan. It was okay. Wasn't much in love, but Kennedy Ryan is still an Audible author for me. Now, at this point, I was just reading things that was available or just came up or one-offs. I don't want to say one-offs because they are books, but these were people that I didn't know, and they came up, and I wound up enjoying their work. One was Play to Win by Jodie Slaughter. This was about a young woman that was kind of trying to find her way in love and in life, and it worked out for her, so I enjoyed that. Then this was kind of my first real spicy book, and it dealt with a poly relationship. I don't think I've read that trope before, and I enjoyed it. Look at me. It was Trick Shot. The Brother Pluckers. It was #1 in the series. I have to look up and see if this is going to be a continued series for me. Is it a book coming up? Is it already published? Are they going through it? It's called Trick Shot by Kayla Gross. And I'm kind of like Kayla in a poly little relationship things going on. We'll see. Then another one that came under this, I guess this authors I were not familiar with, but their books popped up, was Juke by T.K. Richards. Let's see what this was about. I'm looking down at my phone, guys. I'm sorry. Also another romance. Yeah, 2 different people from 2 different worlds colliding. It was a good book. It was a good read, as what I can remember. Then I was already into Alexandria House. I think I read the Romy University series #1 in 2023. So I was following up. And so I read Touch Me by Alexandria House. Then I went on to find out, I know I'm going to butcher her name, so it's going to be on the screen. Last name is J. All Love, the Letting Loose book series. So I read All Love, Our Love. I thought it was a third one, so I guess it's only 2. So it's a duology. All Love and Our Love. Yours for the Weekend by Queen Ray. It was about these couples. It was literally a situationship. They were all aware. No one, people caught feelings, but they realized They went in there knowing certain things that wasn't going to happen as far as a relationship, and it left it as it was. And I thought that was super interesting, because what happens a lot of times, especially in real life in situationships, you start off as a situationship, and there's always going to be one person that want to make it a real relationship and one person that really doesn't. In this particular book, it talked about that, but it really left both people knowing this started out as a situationship and it's going to end as a situationship. No ifs, ands, buts about it. And I kind of appreciated that, because it didn't leave you wondering, oh, what if? No, there's no what ifs. This is what we said was going to happen. Yeah, I like you. It was good while it lasted, but we have to move on. And I think the reality of that is what I appreciated the most. And then I caught up again with Temper Me, the Roman University series. So this was the trilogy. So this was the third one, Temper Me by Alexandria House. Finished that up. And then I went right into Christina C. Jones. So I would have to look at my 2023 list to see if Christina C. Jones was me reading Christina C. Jones during 2024, the first time I read her, because I started reading everything by Christina C. Jones. So I read The Wright Brothers, Getting School, Pulling Doubles, and Bending the Rules. So it was about each brother experience in their love life, which is awesome. Then Christmas with the Wrights was the novella, so I had to read that, even though it was by this time we were in April, but because it was a part of the series, I just read it. Then I went on a hunt for just books on Audible, free ones that come with my subscription. And so the next 2 books will come out of that. I'm definitely going to put this first person's name up and book up. I don't want to butcher it, but it's called The Setup, which I thought was really, really cool. It was about this Indian family, and they both were trying to hook their granddaughter and their grandson up in a traditional way. And they act like they were dating. It was a fake dating situation. And then they actually kind of liked one another. So that worked out well. Then the next book in this range was by Mia Sosa, Son of a Beach. Just 2 people who met on a beach. It's a cozy little read. Leading into the summertime. This was spring. Then I fell back into my Christina C. Jones era, reading the Inevitable series. So Inevitable Conclusions, Inevitable Seductions, and Inevitable Addictions. Christina C. Jones. And you know how I feel about her. Then back to Alexandria House. You know, this is my girl. Her, Sherelle Green, Christina C. Jones, Bella J, I believe her name is. A couple other ones are coming up now. But I got into Alexandria House, the Them Boys series. So it started off with Set, which was a novella. I fell in love with Set. Like, Set can be my boyfriend. It's I read the first 3 because I think it's 10 in the series. So I got Set, Ja, and Shu. Right? Then Bella J, 12 Midnight or 1201, The Delusional Enemies to Lovers Romance. This was hot. And this was the second one, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you don't like spice, this ain't for you, because it is spicy. Then I went on to Kiana Alexander, Can't Let Her Go. This was a queer read. I didn't know that initially, but it winds up really being a good read. Then Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I read same time next year, and then I enjoyed it. So this one was coming up for the summertime, so I read that, thoroughly enjoyed that as well. Pardon My Frenchie by Farrah Roshan. Then I read The Honeymoon Crashers. And so this was the 1.5. This came after The Honeymooners. And I didn't know that it was also by Christina Lauren, but I actually like this. It was after the fact. So if you read The Honeymooners, which I didn't, it was about these 2 people, they were supposed to get married, they didn't. And then I think the best man and the bride got together. Something happened with, like, people of the wedding party or the siblings of the wedding party got together, and that's when you had the Honeymooners. So I thought that was The Honeymoon Crashers. I thought that was good. It made me want to go back and read The Honeymooners, but I don't think I have to. because I really thoroughly just enjoyed this book. Then Miss Frida McFadden, Do Not Disturb. It's always disturbing. And I like to read her books, listen to her books via audio, because it has that kind of suspense vibe. You're like, oh my God, what's happening? What's going on? What's happening next? So I like that. So I followed that up with The Locked Door, which was super cool. Then I went to Continuum by Danielle Allen. By this time I had read Curvy Girl Summer, and I was like all in. So now I'm also trying to read Danielle Allen backlist. Then I read Hook by Emily McIntyre. And what I didn't know about this series was, first of all, it was dark romance, which is super new to me. And then it takes on like old a collection of like fairy tales that we know, but from a dark romance situation. So Hook was the first one in the Never After series. I'm actually currently, like today, listening to Scarred, which is after The Lion King. So this is really, really cool. I think I'm gonna get through all of these eventually. It's about one, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and one else is coming out. It's 6 of them. Hook, Scarred, Wrecked, Twisted, Crossed, and Hexed is the last one that just recently came out. So I am gonna eventually get through all of them. Definitely gonna do it during Audible, because these are big boys, and I'm also trying to do big boys for 25. So this would definitely be Audible reads. But right now I'm doing Scarred, which is a little cute. Then next I got into my Sherelle Green, the Crown Legacy series. Oh, I love the Crown Legacy series. So Face Down Fridays, Jedediah, Love Always, Throne of Pharaoh, what's the other one? It got mixed up on my Goodreads, but Tahalas and Obey, and Sins of Saints. What can I say? These books are the Crown, those Crown boys, that Crown family. It's a lot going on with the Crown family, and I love it. They sexy, they sound good, it sound like they smell good and they look good. I'm all for it. Sherelle Green has laid it down with this series. I'm up to book 7. I think there's 10, so I have 3 more to go. Then another book that came under the realm of just books I read because Audible offered them free was How It Ends. I don't remember what it's about. I'm sorry, but it was good. I gave it a 4-star, so there we go. Another Crown Legacy book, Claiming Keaton, Sanctuary. That was number 6. So they weave in and out of my books because they Audible books. So I may not always continue the next week with the Audible, that particular series in my car reading back and forth, but it's fine. So the next 3 books are books that I got free from Audible. One is Sleeping Dogs Lie. I do remember that being really a good mystery book. The House on the Water by Margot Hunt, also a good one. And then It's a Wonderful Life by Camille Pagan. So, and I think Sleeping Dog Lie, if I didn't say it, was by Samantha Dowling. Then we got back into Sherelle Green, To Marry and Madden, book number 1, Bless, by Malachi. I stopped reading because I want to finish the Crown Legacy series, and I have 3 more books, and I didn't want to start an entire new series. So what probably will happen is once I finish the Crown Legacy series, I will go back to this one, and I probably will read Blessed by Malachi over to start. I don't know how many books are in that series, but I will probably read it and then continue on. Then First Lie Wins by Ashley Elson. I also got this by Shaughnessy. The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. I'm just fitting her books in when I can because she's an auto-buy read for me. One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. Thoroughly in love this book, so started reading her books. And the next books You Shouldn't Have Come Here. These were both kind of like mystery thriller books. They were really, really good. Another series books, but I stopped there, by Stephanie Nicole Norris. In the Heart of Valentine. This was book 1. It was No Holds Bars. It's about a sexy chocolate man, as you can see. Then we go on to Bella J again, the follow-up of 1201. Then we started a series by Donna Marie called A Bennett Affair. This was super cool, and this is when I started noticing narrators' voices and who they narrated for. So this was Fearless Love, Unjust Love, and it's a third one I read a little bit later called Unexpected Love, a part of the Bennett Affair. Then I read Spectacular, which was a novella from Stephanie Garber, who wrote the Carverville series, which I'm going to get into this year. Midnight at the Christmas Shop by Jenny Colgan. I didn't like it. I liked the first Christmas Shop, and then Midnight at Christmas Shop, it wasn't good. And I didn't read the reviews, right? Because I wanted to read the second book in the series. So I just got it and read it. And then after I read it, I felt kind of guilty because I was like, I don't like it. And then I read the reviews and I was like, okay, I'm not the only one. This book didn't get that many great reviews. Then by now I'm into the Christmas season. So I read The Christmas Catch by Tony Shiloh. Give Me Love by B. Love. A Perfect Stuffing by Danielle Allen. And it's not stuffing like you think it is. Jesus. Guidance by Danielle Allen. Wonder by Christina C. Jones. And then the last one, In the Bennett Affair, A Steadfast Love by Donnie Marie. Then I read the second book in the series, The Bookstore Wedding. I read the bookstore before, and then now this is the bookstore. So I had the Christmas Shop, the bookstore, all of them coming under the same umbrella. Then I read Second Chance Christmas by Jacquel J. She's also becoming another auto read by me. Back to My Christina Jones. It's another series, but I love it. Strictly Business. It was the Strictly Professional series. This was book one. It was about this girl and this guy. They kind of had like some chemistry going on. Shared a little intimate moment. And then she wound up, she would be working for him at her uncle's firm the next day. Christmas in Spite of You by Casey Mills. That was my first read by this author. Gonna be reading more books. Then I did the holiday series by Renee Wolf. I did her holiday in Altered. Altered was different. It was classified. What was it classified as? Because I thought it was like the follow-up to the first book, and it really wasn't. It's more of like a dark fantasy. It was interesting, but I read it. Mr. and Mrs. Christmas by Michelle Simpson. I didn't like it either. And I read something by her in 2023, and I was just like, what is going on? Then I read Half Light by Tayari Jones. She wrote An American Marriage. That was good. And my very last book, audiobook of 2024. I read it in one day. I read it on December 31st. Was Love Me for Christmas by B. Love. So I was trying to finish up all my Christmas books, even though I didn't. I'm probably going to read one or two more, and then the ones I don't read, I will save the rest for next year. And I'm going to start a little earlier because I have some from my 2023 list that I didn't complete in 2024. So I want to complete them all. It's about a good 10 of them, I'm not going to lie. Because I'm thinking about the 3 that's on my table. Then I'm thinking about the 3 that's in Audible. That's 6 right there. And I'm sure more are going to come out. So I'm probably going to read about 10 books. I'm probably going to start in November reading my Christmas reads so I can get them all in, at least get all of everything from 2023 on. So, yes, those are the 111 books I've read. Last video was the physical books. This video is the audiobooks. And that's that. I didn't have any wine or coffee. I haven't had any coffee today, but I'm drinking some water. I need to drink some water. I haven't been drinking my water. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue. This is my second glass, so I'm going to finish this when I finish that up when I finish the video. And yes, so I'm in the midst of thinking about what I want to post on my channel on Sundays. I'm thinking also upping how much I post as well. Maybe still keeping my main Sunday, but also posting maybe a short during the week of what I'm reading. So I'm looking forward to this year of reading. I set my goal pretty low because I have some big boys. Like I said before, I set it to 25, which I'm probably going to pass it, which is fine. But I want to give myself a chance to be able to read the books that I want to read, and they're thickums. So that's where I'm at with that. So enjoy your Sunday. Watch this, wash dishes, clean up the house, listen to the books, do all the things. Like, subscribe, share. Welcome or welcome back to Book Uncorked and Caffeinated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.